Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is gonna be my 22 weeks pregnancy update. I know I haven't made this video for a long time. Today I went to my OB for what I thought was my 20-week anatomy scan and doctor's visit, but upon arrival I found out that the baby's actually measuring ahead of time. So they moved up my due date from November 26th to November 18th right now. And so that put me at 21 weeks and 6 days today, but I'll just call it 22 weeks because I'm going to be 22 weeks tomorrow. And I know I made a few videos on my camera, but I don't even know how to because I don't have all the equipment like the cord to connect it to the computer, so I don't even know if or when I'm ever going to upload those videos. I am hoping to, but I may not be able to. So but I know even in those videos I never mentioned the gender. I did find out the gender on my last OB appointment because I had a blood work done. I had a genetic test done because I am over the age of 35. So, and then with that test they find out the gender, and so my doctor told me at the next appointment that my gender is actually going to be a boy. And first of all, I don't know, I was surprised but not surprised, because I just was so sick in my first trimester. Even in like up until basically like week 17, I was like throwing up all the time. So I guess like when I found out it was a boy, I was extremely happy because that's what me and my husband really wanted. But at the same time, you know, you can't always expect what you want. So we actually thought it might be a girl because we already have a girl, so we thought we might have another girl, because last time when we thought our first daughter is a boy too, and then it turned out to be a girl. So we just didn't really want to get our hopes up either. And then on top of that, I just felt like when I found out I was having a boy, it kind of like solidified my pain or suffering. Like it just made it seem like it was worth it. So I don't even know if they told me it was a girl, if I would have just continued feeling like miserable. Because I guess what I'm trying to say is, on a mental note, it changed it. Like it just made me feel so much better about being pregnant, because honestly the first trimester I was not like happy about being pregnant, even though I really wanted another baby, but I just wasn't excited or anything. But with my first child, my first pregnancy, I was super excited. So I felt almost guilty not being excited. But then once I found out it was a boy, I was excited. So, but today, let's go back to today. So I had my OB appointment, and I asked the technician to confirm the gender, and she was able to do that. So I got a picture of my baby boy's private part, and it was very clear it was a boy. Actually, I could grab it real quick. I'm just gonna hold over my like names and all these other information, but here is the private part, and you can see clearly that it's a boy. And then I'll show you an ultrasound, since we're at it, of the profile of the baby. So so that's that. What I was trying to say is that I had a gut feeling that it was a boy, partially because my symptoms, my pregnancy symptoms, was so severe that I was vomiting like 10 times a day. I just felt like something had to be different with this pregnancy because it was so much more intense and so much worse than with my daughter. So I just felt like, you know, it's probably a boy. Like every time I was just throwing up, I just feel like this is probably a boy. But at the same time, I didn't want to get my hopes up. So what I meant is like when they confirmed that it was a boy, I wasn't really surprised because I had this feeling that it was. But at the same time, I was surprised because I didn't really expect to get what I want. So that's the whole thing about that. So let's move on. I'm going to talk about something else. So on July 4th, Independence Day, I woke up at 5 a.m. and then I went to pee. And I didn't know at the time, but then I had been bleeding because I never had any bleeding with my daughter, so I never expect any bleeding. And I didn't know I had any bleeding until I went to flush the toilet, and then I saw there was some bleeding. And then I had a panty liner on, and there was some bleeding on that. So I was very alarmed, and I was put on bed rest from my family. And I didn't do much all day, and I also had like very mild cramps the whole day, all the way until like after dinner. It kind of seemed to subside, but it was like every few minutes I just felt very mild cramping, and that really scared me. And it was a holiday, so I wasn't going to be able to go see anybody, and I didn't really want to go to the ER unless it was getting worse. And it wasn't getting worse. I mean, it was actually getting better, which is not 100% gone. And the next morning when I woke up and peed, it was pretty much gone. Like I wiped, there was no pink, but the day before I wiped, there was always pink. So so I knew I was gonna have an OB appointment coming up, so I was gonna address this issue or talk about this issue with my doctor, and unless something else occurred between then and now, that I will call them. But since I didn't have any more bleeding since then, so I didn't call them. Doctor's appointment today, I went in, and the first thing I did is I told them about the bleeding, and I had the anatomy scan first, so I told the technician about the bleeding, and then she did the ultrasounds. It's a 20-week anatomy ultrasound, so it's a very long, extensive ultrasound. And I think what she told me, I mean, she didn't tell me directly, but I got from, because she, basically, I think I have placenta previa. I think part or either all of my placenta is covering my cervix, so that's why this would happen, because she told me that she wanted me to come back at 28 weeks to check my placenta again. And then when I went to see the doctor, she told me that the bleeding happened because of my placenta, but nobody ever said to me you have placenta previa, but I got it. And also they gave me a piece of paper, told me to make the next 20-week anatomy scan, and on it says something about placenta. So I think that's what I have. And then the doctor told me that I shouldn't have any intercourse, I shouldn't lift anything heavy, and no, I sometimes carry my daughter because she wants me to carry her. So I mean, I have been trying not to carry her ever since the bleeding happened, but I mean, this just kind of reassures me that is why I have the bleeding, is because the placenta previa, and hopefully it will resolve itself in third trimester. They say that the uterus grows and the placenta kind of moves, and so that I would be able to have a vaginal birth, because I had a vaginal birth with my daughter, and I don't really want to get a C-section. So let's just hope all of that resolves itself in time, and I don't have any further bleeding. Well, basically, I can do too much. Otherwise, it might happen again. So I gotta be careful about that. So that's that. And let's see what else. In terms of my symptoms, I've been having not too many, so I'm very happy right now. This should be the best window of my pregnancy. I sleep great at night. I am not totally exhausted during the day unless I do too much. And well, I definitely have more energy than first trimester. And my appetite's great. I eat a lot. I mean, I still have cravings here and there, but they are not as intense as my first trimester. They don't make me go crazy. And partly because there was a pandemic, so there was not many places open. I couldn't get the things I was craving for. It was just driving me crazy. But right now, at least it's milder. The cravings are milder. I have them, but they're not like super intense. I don't have crazy. I mean, I have nausea here and there. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like super intense, and I don't vomit like 10 times a day. And I had the phlegm issue last time. Oh, I know I talked about it in the other, but anyways, that finally resolved itself, so I'm not like constantly like coughing or phlegm. And like I said, I've been sleeping wonderful. Energy's back. Mentally, I've been doing a lot better, because I guess, like I said, ever since they told me the baby's a boy, that I just feel more excited. I've been buying baby boy clothes. I feel like I'm able to bond with the baby a lot more, or look forward to holding my son, because I don't know, ever since they told me it was a boy, just my mentally I just felt a shift, because I was dreading postpartum, because you know how hard the first few months with a newborn is. But now, I mean, it's still hard, but I just feel more excited versus more dread, you know. And maybe it's also summertime, so I'm able to get out a little bit more than before. I mean, and where I live, it's opening up again, so you know, you can do at least outdoor dining, and so it's a little bit better than before in the April and May, which was really bad. Anyways, so I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I guess I could do like a bump shot, because I haven't done it, but now I do have a bump. Oh, also, I'm going to talk about the fact that I gained 13 pounds. They measured me or weighed me today. I'm 138 and I started out as 125. So I gained 13 pounds, which is normal, I think. So here's the bump from the front. And then here is the bump from the side. I have noticed that I show so much faster this time. Like, I don't know, I'm, well, 22 weeks, but it just pops out so much faster. Well, I guess probably because it's my second pregnancy, so I mean, I eat pretty healthy, so, and gaining 13 pounds at this point, I don't think it's too much. So I gained 25 pounds with my first child, so I have 12 pounds to gain, which I know I'll gain, so I'm hoping not to gain too much more than 25 pounds, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm doing great, and besides the placenta previa, everything else is great. And so that's gonna conclude my update on my pregnancy, because I don't want to make this video too long. It's already really long. So thanks for watching, and I'm gonna try to make them monthly at least. Hopefully you'll stay with me on my journey to my second baby. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.